What's up everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about a movement that I think is severely underutilised, especially for athletes, so rugby players, footballers, anyone like that, and those of you that are newer to the gym, so like your teenagers from 16 to kind of 20. It's a movement that I'll go through the benefits and I'll go explain why I think it's so good, but it's called the clean pull. Those of you who have done any kind of Olympic lifting, you would have done a clean pull before, but for those of you who haven't, and you're just kind of using the traditional push-pull leg split, it's going to be a new movement for you. But I'm looking at the differences between the clean pull and the deadlift. Before I get started, I want to say, I'm not saying don't ever do a deadlift again. Deadlift definitely has its place. It's a brilliant exercise for building up posterior chain strength, and when you can get a heavy deadlift up, it's a really good feeling. But I just think that clean pulls need to be utilised a little bit more often. So I've got a presentation in this video to go, so I'm going to put myself in the corner of the screen and we will go through the video. So what we're going to look at, so yeah, clean pull versus deadlift, so the benefits that it has for athletes. Specifically, rugby especially, this is a really good one for, but it does cross over to other sports for sure. So some of the key differences, the coordination. So it requires full body coordination and timing in the clean pull. Whereas a deadlift, you kind of literally pulling a bar up and standing it up almost. The clean pull, you need to coordinate like your full body. So you need to coordinate from different areas of the pull, different speeds, different body parts. You need to get your shoulders timing right with the full extension of your legs. So it's a good one to basically teach yourself good coordination across your body. And then next one, moving on to that, we've got speed change. So like I just mentioned, there are different parts of the pull. So in your first part of the pull and the second, there should be a noticeable difference in speed. Whereas with a deadlift, it's pretty much about getting the bar up. When you're going super heavy, it can feel like an eternity. But with clean pulls, you need to show a clear change in speed to complete the movement effectively. And then bar path as well. So as you can see in the diagrams at the top, you can see the bar path of the deadlift is ideally pretty much vertical, whereas in a clean and a clean pull, if you do a full clean, like in this diagram, you'll see like an S shape, and that will appear. If you do a clean pull, it's kind of the first part of that, but there is still a different direction from doing a normal deadlift. So that change in direction is where a difference comes in. Again, you're utilising different muscles and coordinating your body differently. The power and the force aspect. So every sport requires athletes to be more powerful. So impact sports like rugby, obviously running into tackles, breaking tackles, hitting rucks and things like that, you need that raw power and that strength in initial bursts to perform at the highest level. Other sports like football, they still need to have powerful bursts. You still need to be able to transition, to be able to sprint over short distances and change speed really quickly. So you definitely still need that kind of power aspect. And the clean pull, it helps increase as an athlete, it will help increase your force output and the rate of force development. So we'll go into the movement coming on, but you'll see clearly the difference between a deadlift and a clean pull in how it can help make you a more powerful athlete. So next part, so we're going to have a look at two videos that I've made that demo the two movements, and I want you to see if you can notice a difference in force output and like the movement of the bar. So the first one we're going to look at is going to be the deadlift. So this is just a standard setup of a deadlift. As you can see, just a vertical lift coming straight up, body moving all at once, but there's no noticeable change in speed. It's pretty much your arms stay as they are. You lead with your shoulders and drive up. You drive through the floor, but there's no real speed. There's no real power, like split-second power output that you need in a deadlift. Then when we look at doing a clean pull, you can see the initial pull up to the knee, that's one speed, and then as it comes past the knee, it changes speed. There's an acceleration and there's a triple extension with your whole body. So the triple extension comes through your ankles, knees and hips, and then your shoulders have to be coordinated because they have to shrug at the same time. But you can clearly see there's a difference in speed between the knee and up to the hip, and that kind of speed and power that you need when you translate that over as an athlete, especially in your sport. So in your implementation, so if you're looking to include these kind of things, if you know Olympic lifting, if you've done it before, then you can add these as an accessory movement. These are really good to, for me, helping build up your confidence when you're trying to hit new PBs, because you're getting used to lifting heavier weights. Even if it's not a full clean, you're getting used to having them on the bar and feeling the weight. If you've never done them before though, you want to start using weights around 70 to 80% of your 1RM, and then build that up gradually like you would any kind of strength progression. So start at 70-80% and then each week build percentages up with that. So an example with that, you do 4 sets of 3 at about 75% on the first week, with 2 minutes rest in between, and then as you go over like 4 or 6 weeks, you increase that percentage as you go through. If you're going to increase that percentage to like 90%, then just drop the reps slightly, just because it's going to be close to a max effort. If you're a new lifter, so like you've never done any Olympic lifting or anything like that before, start working on your technique on this one first. So make sure you're moving in the right way. It's important that you get your technique and your form correct before you try and translate that over to lifting load. So when you're implementing that into your program, I'd utilize this as your main compound lift. So replace it with a deadlift for now on your pull days, for example. Do this first under no fatigue and help build up the strength that way. I go 5 sets of 5 when you're comfortable with the movement, and just continually progressively overload with the load. Continue building the load up and build your strength up that way in the movement, and you'll get more confident with it the more you do it. So yeah, build up your strength in your clean pull, utilize it as your initial compound lift on your pull days. So coaching points for the lift, so there are many different tutorials, but my key coaching points for this, your setup, so you need overhand, shoulder width grip, feet hips width apart. I wouldn't worry about trying to hook grip on a clean pull unless you're trying to get used to using a hook grip. Just worry about the bar path and the movement for now. And then at the setup as well, just keep the bar really, really close to your shins. You see loads of pictures and videos of people cutting their shins up because they've got it so close. It needs to be that close to keep it in alignment with your body. Your first pull, the bar is going to travel vertically. It's going to come straight up, and then what I want you to look at is your body all rising as one. So what we don't want is stripper bum, where your bum flies up and then the rest of your body has to counteract that. It almost be coming up at the same time, nice and controlled. I like to coach that first part, the first pull, as kind of getting a feel for the weight, and making sure that everything is nice and engaged to move on to the second pull. And then yeah, your second pull, this is where the power comes in. So there should be a clear change in speed after the bar goes past your knees, and then we want to create that triple extension. So with an explosive vertical movement upwards through your hips, knees and ankles. So you're going to move all the way up, your body's going to explode vertically up, you're going to get that extension in all those body parts, and then simultaneously with that you're going to shrug your shoulders up, keeping your arms straight. As you shrug them up, what that's going to do is allow the bar path to maintain going vertical. If you don't shrug your shoulders, what's going to happen is the bar is going to go off your hip and it's going to go out and around your body. We want it to stay up as close to your torso as we can to avoid any kind of looping like that. So yeah, with that one, with the final bit of the arms, it's from a coaching point of view, I don't mind too much. I don't mind a little bit of an arm bend. I'd rather you didn't keep your arms completely dead straight, but it's kind of at this point just see what's a little bit more comfortable. I put a little bit of an arm bend as I shrug because I'm trying to utilize it to improve my clean. But if you're just using it just for power, maybe just keep your arms as straight as you can, really shrug up and emphasize that shrug, and go from there on that one. If you've got any kind of questions on your pull, record a video, send it in to me, and I'll be more than happy to help. Just head over to my Instagram, which I'll link here. So yeah, any questions on that, just send it over and we'll have a look. And then final points on this one, I've already gone over these before, but for novices, practice with a lighter load to ensure good form. Just grab a barbell to begin with, just an empty barbell, and practice that movement, practice getting triple extension, and practice timing your shoulders properly. Form before weight, so making sure you're hitting that form consistently before you start adding loads of load. If you try and hit a max effort on that, your form's going to go to shit, and it's just not good. You're not going to get the same benefits and output that you normally would from other movements. So practice your form, build the weight up slowly before you start looking at progressively overloading the lift. And then yeah, at the throughout the movement, keep your core and your lower back engaged, and especially before as well. Get yourself nice and set, keep everything engaged and keep everything nice and tight. You don't want any kind of looseness as you're coming through with that, especially when the weight gets heavy. So yeah, that's it on this one. That is my clean pull versus deadlift. So like I said at the start, deadlifts they have a place, they're an awesome lift, but I think clean pulls, especially for rugby players, athletes, clean pulls is something that you need to be implementing in your program, and it's something that can really have some massive benefits for you. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe on the button below, and if you're on Instagram, check me out, jsterry_fitness, and I'll answer any DMs or questions you have on there. And enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video.